Ever since I began gaming, the majority of the games I've played have featured male protagonists, which, well, isn't surprising at all. However, this doesn't imply that games with female protagonists are inferior. In fact, there are many incredible games with female leads. And in this video, I'll showcase some of these games that even surpass those with male protagonists. Starting off with a Plague Tale series. This game's atmosphere leans towards horror, but it doesn't rely on jump scares. Instead, it creates tension through the dire situations the characters face. You'll step into the shoes of Amicia, trying to escape the clutches of the French Inquisition and avoid swarms of plague-ridden rats with her brother Hugo. The first installment, A Plague Tale: Innocence, released in 2019, was followed by its sequel Requiem in 2022. While both games are spectacular, many players find Requiem more challenging than its predecessor. Visually, the series is stunning. Innocence already boasted beautiful graphics, but Requiem takes it to the next level with advanced hardware capabilities, showcasing detailed character models and intricate environments. The AI in Requiem is smarter and more aware, adding to the challenge. This sequel leans heavily on trial and error, which can be frustrating but also rewarding. Overall, this series stands out in its genre and is a must-try for any gaming enthusiast. Up next, we have Beyond Good and Evil. This is a true gem from Ubisoft that debuted back in 2003. Now, you might be wondering if this oldie is still worth playing. Well, let me tell you, absolutely yes. Its charm lies in its timeless beauty and engaging gameplay. The graphics, though dated, still hold a certain nostalgic appeal, and the soundtrack is an absolute masterpiece, creating an immersive experience for the ears. The story strikes a perfect balance between humor and seriousness, following the adventures of Jade, an investigative reporter and martial artist who doubles as a spy hitwoman. She works with a resistance movement to uncover a dark alien conspiracy. Given its age, you can expect a linear storyline, but it's compelling nonetheless. The puzzles you encounter are straightforward, often requiring you to figure out how to manipulate your surroundings to progress. And trust me, when Jade gets her hands on the tools to deal with the bigger foes, it's incredibly satisfying to send them flying. This game's blend of story, character, and unique gameplay mechanics make it a classic that's definitely worth revisiting. Next up, we have Remember Me. This game is a true gem for fans of single-player experiences, offering a richly woven narrative without the distractions of microtransactions, multiplayer, or mandatory internet connectivity. Released in 2013, it's a rare breed in today's gaming landscape, inviting you to dive right in and immerse yourself in its story-driven world. Set in the futuristic city of Neo-Paris, the game revolves around a brain implant called Sensen, which lets people upload, share, and even edit memories, effectively allowing the parent company, Memorize, to maintain a surveillance state. This oppressive regime sparks the rise of a rebellious group known as the Errorists. You play as Nilin, an errorist who's lost her memory and possesses the unique ability to remix memories. Her journey to rediscover her past and find her family is gripping and emotional. Remember Me is heavily melee-oriented, with a focus on customizable move combos, each with different attributes. The game also features ranged weapons and special moves, adding variety to the combat. Besides the intense fighting, there's plenty of platforming and puzzle solving to keep you engaged. The puzzles come in two forms: traditional riddles and environmental challenges, plus the innovative memory remixing sequences, which have been praised universally. There's also a bit of exploration, with hidden upgrades scattered throughout levels that boost health and power. This combination of narrative, combat, and puzzle solving makes Remember Me a memorable experience that's definitely worth your time. Up next, we have Control. In this game, you step into the shoes of Jessie Faden, who suddenly finds herself as the new director of the Federal Bureau of Control, a place where the laws of reality are more flexible than firm. Right from the start, the game immerses you in a blend of psychological horror and supernatural intrigue, dragging you deeper without holding your hand. While it's not entirely a Souls-like, Control borrows several elements from the genre, such as unlockable checkpoints for leveling up and fast travel, along with the risk of losing resources upon death. The narrative is anything but straightforward, constantly layering on questions that make your brain work over time. The setting and story are delightfully strange, and exploring the file collectibles adds to the bizarre, captivating atmosphere. They flesh out the world, making it even more enigmatic and intriguing. And if you're hungry for more, there's an Alan Wake DLC connecting the universe of Control with the eerie, dark world of Alan Wake. You can even find files detailing Alan Wake's mysterious case, adding another layer of depth and curiosity. All in all, Control is a fascinating, mind-bending experience that's a must-try for fans of the genre. Next on our list is Returnal. For those who aren't familiar, Returnal is a roguelike/roguelite game. This means each run presents random levels, enemies, weapons, and items. And when you die, you start back at the beginning presenting a classic roguelike style. However, you do retain some progress between runs, which is the roguelite aspect. Bosses you defeat stay defeated, though you can choose to fight them again. Permanent upgrades to your movement and abilities stick with you, but most items, weapons, money, and experience reset on death, making each failure feel quite punishing. This game is brutally challenging and doesn't shy away from showing you just how tough it can be. Enemies are fast and hit hard, and health replenishing items are scarce and often weak. The early runs are about learning and adapting. The game gets much harder after you beat the first boss, and it assumes that you've honed your skills and are ready for a tougher challenge. As a result, the first area becomes even more ruthless. More numerous and harder enemies spawn with every run, nullifying the progress you felt you had made. This constant shift in difficulty keeps you on your toes, ensuring that no run feels the same and that your journey remains as thrilling as it is demanding. It's a test of skill, patience, and resilience, making Returnal a must-try for anyone looking for a rigorous and rewarding gaming experience. Up next, we have Sable. This game stands out as quite unique compared to the others we've discussed so far. One of the most striking differences is the absence of combat, shifting the focus solely onto exploration. It channels the vast discovery-driven experience of games like Breath of the Wild, but without the combat encounters. Exploration is key in Sable, with hidden treasures scattered throughout its expansive map. Drawing inspiration from a variety of sources like Dune and Star Wars, Sable boasts a visually stunning aesthetic. Its color palette, thin outlines, and dropped animation frames give it the appearance of hand-drawn anime cells, creating a truly breathtaking visual experience. However, it's worth noting that Sable isn't without its flaws. Some players have encountered bugs and glitches along the way. Yet, despite these technical hiccups, the game's genius environmental storytelling and captivating atmosphere shine through. Sable manages to transcend the conventions of its genre, offering a refreshing and captivating experience that's both striking and unique. If you haven't tried it yet, maybe you should give it a try. Next up, we have Mages of Mystralia. This adventure game with light puzzle elements offers a delightful blend of Zelda-style exploration and Magicka-inspired magic system. You step into the shoes of Zia, a new apprentice mage on a quest to master the art of spellcasting. The most exciting aspect of the game is undoubtedly the spell creation system, where you can craft your own spells using runes found throughout the world. With over 500 combinations to experiment with, the possibilities are virtually endless. Whether you prefer to annihilate enemies with sheer firepower, manipulate crowds, or set cunning traps, the choice is yours. While the story may seem simplistic at first glance, Borealis Studio excels in its execution, infusing the game with charm and depth. The characters are surprisingly multidimensional, with even seemingly antagonistic figures revealing layers of complexity. This nuanced portrayal of characters adds richness to the narrative, blurring the lines between good and evil and presenting Zia with morally gray dilemmas to navigate. Mages of Mystralia is a charming and engaging adventure that offers both whimsical fun and thought-provoking storytelling, making it a must-play for fans of the genre. Next on our list is NieR Automata. NieR Automata is one of those games that get good the more you keep on playing them and progressing. Initially, it can be a bit rough, as its dark atmosphere challenges players' preconceived notions about gaming conventions. Yet, it's precisely this raw, unfiltered experience that allows players to truly immerse themselves in the emotions the game evokes, adding depth to the overall experience. In the game, you step into the role of 2B, a female android created by the Yorha organization, tasked with combating the robotic lifeforms known as the machines that have taken over Earth, driving humanity to the brink of extinction. The game's strongest point undoubtedly lies in its storyline. It's not your typical superhero defeats the villain narrative. Instead, it delves into complex themes of morality, identity, and the nature of consciousness. As you progress through the game, you find yourself questioning your actions, pondering the nature of good and evil, and grappling with the ambiguity of morality. There are no clear-cut answers or easy solutions in NieR Automata. It's up to you to interpret the story and determine your path. The story of this game is quite fascinating, and it's undoubtedly one of the best games on this list. Next on our list is Echo. Released in 2017, this indie stealth game offers a truly unique experience where enemies dynamically learn from your actions, adapting their behavior to counter your strategies. Set in a captivating and intricately designed world, Echo boasts a compelling narrative and stunning visual aesthetics that still hold up today. It's worth noting that Echo is primarily a stealth game, so don't expect high-octane action here. The core mechanic revolves around your clones learning from your movements, creating a constant sense of tension and challenge as you navigate through the labyrinthine environments. Unfortunately, despite its innovative gameplay and impressive presentation, the developer faced financial difficulties and had to cease operations. Nonetheless, Echo remains a testament to their creative vision, offering a blend of stealth, puzzle solving, and immersive storytelling that sets it apart from the crowd, with its organic dialogue, intricate world building, and engaging gameplay mechanics. Echo is undoubtedly a good indie game to play right now. Next, we have Ravenlok. This game offers a short yet delightful escape into a Wonderland-esque world. You follow the journey of a young girl named Ravenlok, who gets whisked away from her ordinary life into a magical land plagued by the curse of an evil caterpillar queen. The combat mechanics are straightforward, mostly just spamming the attack button to stun enemies until they're defeated. While it's not challenging, it's surprisingly satisfying due to the swift movements of the main character, making dashing around and attacking quite enjoyable. The story is decent, not groundbreaking, but engaging enough to keep you interested. Most of the quests revolve around fetch tasks, which fits well within the game's laid-back, relaxing vibe. Though it's a relatively short experience, Ravenlok is perfect for those moments when you want to unwind with a simple yet entertaining adventure. Its charming setting and easy gameplay make it a great way to spend your spare time. Next on the list is Infamous First Light. This game serves as a prequel to Second Son, enriching your experience by providing background information on key characters. In First Light, you control Abigail Fetch Walker, a young conduit with superhero-like neon powers. The gameplay mirrors that of Infamous Second Son with level completions, enemy battles, and side missions, but with notable enhancements. Abigail's powers, similar to Delsin Rowe's neon abilities, come with unique additions that make gameplay tighter and more focused. Since you primarily use one power, the experience is streamlined and in many ways more enjoyable. Abigail's mastery of her abilities means she can navigate the city at a much faster pace. The story is solid, adding depth to Abigail's character and enhancing your connection to the narrative. Although the side content remains relatively average, it's still engaging enough to be worthwhile. The game is short, but the inclusion of challenges extends its longevity. These challenges, which you can also tackle as Delsin, add an extra layer of replayability. If you're aiming for the Platinum Trophy, expect to invest around 10 to 12 hours to achieve it. Overall, Infamous First Light offers a concise but entertaining adventure, especially for fans of the series. Next on the list is the Horizon series. You're probably familiar with it due to its widespread acclaim since the first game's release. Developer Guerrilla Games has truly taken the franchise to new heights with Horizon Forbidden West. Opinions on the story can vary widely. Some love it, others not so much, but personally, I found it incredibly immersive. The game offers a mind-blowingly creative and original sci-fi fantasy universe with unique writing, characters, and concepts that are truly fresh and exciting. The combat style is unmatched, offering a dynamic experience you won't find anywhere else. From the music and cultures to the designs and animations, every detail is meticulously crafted and stunning. What I admire most about Forbidden West is that it doesn't try to be the best game ever or the perfect open-world title. Instead, it aims to be the perfect sequel to Zero Dawn, improving on everything that needed enhancement. The sequel addresses community feedback and elevates every aspect: melee combat, visuals, traversal, machines, mechanics, flying, dialogue, and more. It's essentially a new and improved Zero Dawn, fulfilling its mission to be the best sequel possible. This evolution makes Horizon Forbidden West a standout in the series, and if you haven't played it yet, maybe now is the time. Next on the list is Lost in Random. Set in the intriguing kingdom of Random, the fate of its inhabitants is determined by a cursed black die when they turn 12. You play as Even on a quest to rescue her sister Odd, who has been abducted by the malevolent Queen of Random. The journey takes you through the 6 realms of Random, each more fascinating than the last. Visually, Lost in Random is a masterpiece, blending elements reminiscent of Alice in Wonderland and Coraline. The intricate details, vibrant colors, and atmospheric settings are truly breathtaking. The story is richly crafted, offering a Disney-like level of world-building with its scope, influence, and emotional impact. It's a fleshed-out fairy tale filled with both hilarious and tear-jerking moments. The gameplay is quite linear, with main quests being mandatory for progression, while many side quests can be skipped if you prefer. Although Lost in Random might not be widely known, it's a gem worth discovering. The game is currently priced around $30 as of making this video, but if you have an EA Play subscription, you can download and play it right now. This game is a delightful blend of whimsical storytelling and stunning visual design, making it a must-try for anyone looking for a unique adventure. Next on the list, we have the Mirror's Edge games, comprising the original 2008 title and its 2016 counterpart, Mirror's Edge Catalyst. These games offer a unique and captivating experience, although some players have criticized their short length. However, I agree with the sentiment that game length doesn't necessarily determine its quality, just like a great movie doesn't have to be 3 hours long. The gameplay of Mirror's Edge revolves around traversing urban environments with parkour mechanics, offering a refreshing take on the first-person genre. In terms of navigation, the game provides clear directions, allowing players to progress through areas with relative ease. The story, especially in Catalyst, delves deeper into the background of the protagonist, Faith, a skilled runner navigating a dystopian cityscape. While the gameplay and story are generally solid, some players, particularly those prone to motion sickness, may experience discomfort during extended play sessions, so it's essential to take breaks and be mindful of your gameplay time. Overall, Mirror's Edge offers an enjoyable experience, particularly for fans of single-player games. Next up is The Last of Us Part 2. This highly anticipated sequel continues the gripping narrative of the original game, focusing on Ellie as the main playable protagonist. Following the events of Part 1, Ellie's journey in Part 2 is both gripping and emotional as she grapples with the consequences of her actions. If you haven't played Part 1 yet, I highly recommend doing so to fully grasp Ellie's character development. The gameplay mechanics in Part 2 are exceptional, with every action having a significant impact. The combat is intense and visceral, offering players the choice between stealthy approaches or all-out gunfights. The environments are breathtaking, with end sequences that feel straight out of a blockbuster movie. Despite the controversy surrounding its story, I found it to be compelling and thought-provoking. Playing as both Ellie and Abby provides unique perspectives, with each character serving as a mirror image of the other. I understand why some people may dislike certain aspects of the game, but personally, I appreciated the complexity of the narrative and the moral dilemmas it presented. If you've been hesitant to play The Last of Us Part 2 due to its mixed reception, I urge you to give it a chance and form your own opinion. It's a masterfully crafted experience that challenges players emotionally and intellectually, making it a standout title in the gaming landscape. Next up is the Tomb Raider Reboot Trilogy: Tomb Raider, Rise of the Tomb Raider, and Shadow of the Tomb Raider. Out of these three, Shadow of the Tomb Raider is easily my favorite. These games are centered around exploration and puzzles, with just enough combat spread out to keep it fresh. A very nice feature of the series is that you can customize the difficulty of combat, exploration, and puzzles independently of each other, which is great. Choosing difficulties for exploration and puzzles means that you're not being held by the hand the whole time, which really makes you feel like you're there with Lara Croft on her adventures. They all tie into each other seamlessly, forming a cohesive narrative. I recommend starting with the 2013 Tomb Raider to get Lara's backstory and character development, as well as the setup for the challenges that await in Shadow of the Tomb Raider. In terms of gameplay, all three games offer different ways to play, but stealth is incredibly satisfying, especially in Shadow of the Tomb Raider. If for some reason you haven't played any of these Lara Croft games yet, there is a bundle on Steam which includes all three games and their DLCs at a very reasonable price. Next on our list is Sakuna of Rice and Ruin. This cute little game is about Princess Sakuna, a harvest goddess and warrior who, alongside her familiar Tama and several humans, gets stranded on the Isle of Demons after some messy business in the Lofty Realm. The game is divided into two main parts: combat and rice cultivation. Surprisingly, those two are connected in ways you wouldn't expect. You gain levels in combat by making rice, and the same goes for the other way around. The story could be out of a Ghibli film, with broken characters who overcome their weaknesses by forming bonds with the others. While the dungeon environments may not be the most captivating, the cozy home base and delightful character designs make up for it. Combat starts off basic, but as you progress and learn new abilities, it becomes more engaging. One thing to note is that the game isn't overly challenging, especially early on when you're still mastering combat mechanics. However, leveling up plays a significant role, as it can mean the difference between dealing minimal damage to bosses or overpowering them. Overall, Sakuna of Rice and Ruin offers an enjoyable experience, perfect for those seeking a break from the intensity of multiplayer games. Up next is Stellar Blade. This game was highly anticipated, and thankfully, it didn't disappoint. It is truly a great experience, and you can really tell that the developers put their hearts and souls into this game. Story-wise, it might not be on the same level as some of the all-time greats, such as NieR Automata, but Eve's adventure is still very intriguing and leaves you wanting to learn more about her. Gameplay-wise, this is where Stellar Blade excels beyond many of its peers. It is easily one of the best action-adventure games of this generation, and the combat system is very satisfying. Every battle is an exhilarating experience, and you are free to experiment as much as you like. Go head in with a full-on assault, or try to defend and block your way through. The game gives you enough mechanics to pick up on that it allows you to play to your strengths. Unfortunately, this game is currently a PlayStation 5 exclusive game, which means that PC and other platform players will have to wait for its port, or maybe just get a new PS5. Next up, we have Hades 2. I am currently playing this one and can vouch for its quality. It was developed by the same developer, Supergiant Games, and is a follow-up to their highly praised Hades. The plot takes place sometime after the first game, but this time you play as Melino, Zagreus' younger sister, the protagonist of the first game. Hades 2 improves upon every facet of the original and adds features which amplify the gameplay. if you like challenging yet fair roguelite exploration games in which each attempt brings you closer, despite failures, to your ultimate aim, then Hades 2 is a pure delight. Its engaging story, polished mechanics, and beautiful graphics make it a must-buy title for any gamer. With its mixture of action, narrative, and strategic gameplay, Hades 2 is a beacon of how a sequel should be made. Wrapping up our list, we have the Hellblade series. We've got 2 games in this franchise, Hellblade Senua's Sacrifice, which came out in 2017, and its shiny new sequel, Senua's Saga Hellblade 2. Now, what makes this series stand out is how it seamlessly combines puzzle-solving, psychological horror, and intense melee combat to keep you on your toes through perilous challenges. Plus, the graphics are top-notch, giving you some of the most realistic visuals in modern gaming. The mechanics is what makes this series great. Combat encounters will have your heart pounding with intensity, especially when you face off against bosses. Just keep in mind that this franchise is a very specific kind of game, all about creating a captivating atmosphere and immersing you in its world. If you were a fan of the first game, chances are you'll fall head over heels for the sequel. But before you jump into the sequel, I highly recommend playing Senua's Sacrifice first to fully understand the story and completely immerse yourself in Senua's world. So, that's it for today. Have you played any of the games I mentioned in this list? If you know any games with a female protagonist that you think should be on this list, be sure to let me know in the comments below. And if you enjoyed this video, please remember to like and subscribe to my channel. Until next time, happy gaming.